So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I told parents that she can stay with me until 4:30. And one of my boys came in and he brought her flowers. It is the best feeling in the world when you have these kids collaborating together that are working and that are just so passionate and excited about what they're doing. Alright, happy Monday. It is March the 5th. And it's the beginning of a new week. Hip hip hooray for that. So I did make a stop this morning. I'm a little bit later than I normally am because I needed to go to Walmart to get drink mixture for our very last night of conferences. I know some of you are probably wondering, why in the world do you have so many days of conferences? Because at this point, I think this is day number four. This is day number 4. So the way it works in our district is that it's built into our contracts, right? So we have it built in to say that we have 2 evening, one evening and then 2 that are like a half day. So the kids will leave at 12 o'clock and then from 12:30 to 4:30, then we have, conferences during those times. Well, because we are a MAC team, a multi-age classroom of 3 grades, we essentially have like 25, 26 extra kids than what other teams have. So like a math teacher and an ELA teacher, like your typical switching teachers. So we have about 25 to 26 more kids than everyone else, meaning that we can't fit those in during those slots because those 3 slots were made for ELA and math team teachers. So we just kind of knew that when we came up with this entire team itself that we were going to have extra nights. So that's what we're doing. We're having extra nights. But it's been good. It's been fine. So tonight is our last conference night. So I have all the drink mixtures. I actually left it out in the car, but I did go put the ice inside of the freezer in the faculty room. And I'm just making it in. Thankfully, on Friday, I was a genius. Not a genius. I wasn't lazy. Is that the word for it? Because I already did my morning message and I also did my announcements this week. In other news, because this is going to totally warm y'all's heart because it warmed my heart, I want to say it was Thursday. On Thursday, we found out that one of our students went to Philadelphia and she became a citizen of the United States. And she just like, when we found out, we were all together. It was like the perfect moment of finding out because we were all together like as a MAC team. We were just having kind of like a meeting, catch up, get together for everyone. And we all like cheered and applauded and it was just so sweet and she just cried. So today, in honor of our sweet friend, we are all wearing red, white, and blue for her. So doesn't that warm your heart? I love that girl. This is the 2nd year that I've had her. I love her. So I just wanted to throw that out there because it's going to be a great start to the day. We are doing it in honor of our friend, and I figured I'm going to share the good news. So I decorated it a little bit. My board work is a little less than impressive, but it's decorated. We also went around and got little flags for everyone. So everybody has a little United States flag for our sweet friend who became a citizen. I think it's really sweet that we're celebrating something that is really good and positive, and that we're celebrating the fact that she became a citizen, because I feel like we need some more positivity in this country, and a little girl who was so excited to become a U.S. citizen, I think, is a true positive note. So very excited for her. We're going to celebrate her today. And then on top of that, we have One School, One Book that is a kickoff today. So I am not going to have a morning meeting, even though I do have my morning message up. We will still read that. But we are going to have a morning meeting as a school. So we're going to get together, have a pause meeting where we have a morning meeting together, all together. And then we're going to kick off with One School, One Book. So We have our cute little box that was delivered here, and it says fresh baked pie served daily. I want you to pause it, and I want you to go and write down below what book you think this is. So here's kind of our little package that we're going to come back after the pause meeting, open up, and then everybody is going to get a copy of our book for this year. I really love One School, One Book. I love all of the activities that we incorporate with it. I love that everybody has the exact same book, so you can like pull people that are like in the hallway and just ask them questions. We do some really great things. And then in Schoology, we also do readings. So teachers kind of sign up, we read aloud certain chapters, and we have those available for kids who are not able to read it, like it's not on their level, but they can still read it because they can pull it up on Schoology and kind of listen to the story as one of the teachers in the building reads it, which I think is really, really nice. So I'm excited about that, and I'm really hungry. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and have some breakfast, have a little bit of chill time before the kids start to walk in, and I will catch up with y'all later. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I am feeling in a funk, in a huge funk this morning, and I cannot get myself out of it for the love. I have about 6 minutes to get myself together and get out of my funk and hopefully have a pretty good day. I can already tell you that today has been dragging, and I feel like it's gonna be the longest day on earth. I can do this, y'all. Positive mindset, I can do this. So it is my lunchtime right now. I actually have about 10 minutes left of my lunchtime. So y'all, it was the best thing ever. I needed to come on and tell you guys about how we did our One School, One Book. So we ended up going as an entire like building to the gym, which is where we always have like our pause meetings. They did like a pie, like they pied teachers in the face. It was funny. They were asking them a question, and they didn't get the question right. They ended up pieing them in the face. So the teachers got pied, principal got pied, which was awesome. Vice principal got pied, which was even more awesome. So it was really funny. The kids really enjoyed it. We came back, and then we opened up our package that we received from our reading specialist that had all of the books in it. The kids really love it because everybody gets a book. Like everyone goes home with a book. So the book that we are doing for One School, One Book as like a big huge school is Pie, which we're all very excited about. I'm even more excited about it because at the end of the month the author is going to come and do a visit with us, so that is going to be really, really exciting. I can't wait to do some activities with them in the mornings and yeah, just kind of read the book. I like to read it with Ian, so I'm just going to go home and have me and him are going to sit down and do a little read together. So I have actually been incredibly productive. I'm starting to kind of slowly pull myself out of a funk. I'm not being very social today, but at least I'm trying to be productive and also get my things done. So I've looked over some of my plans. I've made some copies. I ended up having to switch some schedules around for some of my students. So I've done that already. And I've made did I already say I made copies? I did. I made copies that I needed for the rest of this afternoon, and I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I like to have it kind of dark in here, but it's good. So somebody said stop with the bangs on my last video. I don't know what that means. What you want me to stop? Like stop growing them out? Like stop playing with them? Anywho, okay. So I'm going to go to the bathroom before I have to pick up my kids in about 6 minutes. Just wanted to catch in with you guys and tell you about our One School, One Book. I'm really excited about it. Oh, and it was the cutest thing ever, y'all. So I told you guys that we're wearing red, white, and blue to support one of our students today. And one of my boys came in and he brought her flowers. Isn't that so sweet? Urgh. He can drive me crazy sometimes, but oh my gosh, that is the sweetest thing. So he brought her flowers today, which I thought was really, really precious. Just makes me happy. All right, I'm gonna go see if I can find chocolate and then hopefully get a couple more things graded. It's the end of the day, the kids are gone, my room is a hot mess, and I need to get ready for conferences. So my first one starts in about 15 minutes, which means that I need to make my punch. So I had somebody in my last video ask me how I made my punch. So I used 2 cups of the powdered lemonade. I used 2 cans of the 46 ounces pineapple juice. They're just in the cans. I find them in the juice section at Walmart. And then I used 2 2-liter Sprite bottles in order to create my punch. Now obviously I make this for a very, very large crowd. If I was making it for smaller, like I did for Friday, that was a half day, I made half of the amount. So I used 1 cup of the powdered lemonade. I used only 1 46 ounce pineapple juice can and then 1 2-liter bottle of Sprite. I mixed the lemonade and the pineapple juice together first, and then I put in my ice and then followed by my Sprite very last. It comes out so, so good. It almost looks like it has 2 different layers. Promise you it doesn't, but it tastes so, so good. So I'm gonna go ahead and start getting this mixed together so that I can get it ready and out on the table so we can get ready for our conferences. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this out. I don't have the Sprite in it just yet, but it tends to get really, really heavy. So I'm gonna go ahead, put it out on the table, add the Sprite, and then get ready for my conferences. I don't understand why they put that. Good morning, everyone. It is March the 6th and it's Tuesday, and I am making it to work during the daytime. I don't know what it is, and I know it's just like vitamin D soaking up in my skin and I'm just like enjoying that piece of it, but I am really happy to finally start having daylight when I get to work. It is just, I feel like I've been so gloom making it to work when it's dark and leaving when it's dark, and now there's sunlight and there's light at the end of the tunnel and I'm really excited. Although there is supposed to be snow, like an actual blizzard coming this evening. We'll see, but I'm gonna go ahead and get in. It is one of my partner's birthdays today, so I'm gonna go and get a couple of things together for her. So I'm just really realizing that on camera I feel like I look a little ridiculous, but I promise you this outfit is absolutely adorable. I really, really like this. I stayed a little bit later last night because my room was a hot mess. Y'all, I like pushed my kids out the door. Not literally, but I was like, go, get out. I need to make the punch. You guys have to leave. It was like they all just wanted to hang out. They all just wanted to be in the room and just kind of hang out and talk to each other and just, I was just like, you guys gotta go. I love y'all, but y'all gotta go. So they left my room a little bit of a mess, but I think part of that was just my fault and that I wasn't like moving them along. They were just kind of dragging their feet. Y'all, they miss each other over the weekend. Like, I'm serious. Like, sometimes I just wonder, and I'm going to tell them, you guys got to start phone calling each other and start telling each other all about what happened over the weekend on Monday morning before you get to school, because you guys just want to chit chat all day long. It's like, and it's not happening. You can't keep doing that. But other than that, it was fine. I was able to get everything kind of cleaned up, and then I was like moving things randomly last night. I don't know why, it was just making me feel better. Okay, so I had to change my battery, y'all, I'm sorry. And then I lose track because I'm getting old and I don't know, I don't have very good memory anymore. I don't know what's happening. So I ended up moving some things around last night and kind of changing a couple of things. I don't know why. Every once in a while, I just like to shift things up a little bit, just make things look a little bit different. And the flowers that we had out for the parent night, or like our conferences that we've been using the past few days, are so, so beautiful. Look how pretty. Aren't they gorgeous, y'all? So I took them to put them in my room. So like I said, I kind of got this little area cleaned off over here and it looks really nice. And then I have all of the STEM robotics stuff over here. I still need to wash some dishes, but I'm gonna make one of my sweet little friends who likes to wash my dishes wash them for me. This is still a hot mess because my farmers need to get on top of it and start planting. But yeah, so just to let y'all know, both of my batteries are dead. So I haven't been able to vlog very much this morning, but I did want to share with you one little thing. So I am creating a order of operations Jenga game. So the kids will be able to kind of pull one out, and then they'll be able to solve the number for which one they pulled out. So if it's, you know, the first yellow that they pulled out, the second yellow, the third yellow, so on and so forth. And then they'll have a little answer sheet for them to be able to put it in. So I have these little Jengas sets, and they're going to be practicing this for a review because they have a quick check on Thursday. So for the next 2 days, this is what they're going to be doing. I like it because it is a nice little activity. It's fun. The kids are interacting with each other. They're helping each other out, being able to solve the problem. And so yeah, it's just a fun little activity. So I wanted to show that to you guys really quick. So I have one partner. It is her birthday, and I printed her out my A5 planner. So I need to get those finished cut up and hole punch so that I can get that in. And then my other partner needed it because she's been using it since last year. So I need to get that put in there for her. And that is what I'm about to do because time is like clicking. All right, clicking, that makes no sense. All right, I gotta talk to you guys a little bit later on. I need to go get some work done. There is nothing in the world that I wouldn't do for you. That was actually a really good sentence. Nothing. 78. Some people think that I'm crazy. It's a little after 5 o'clock, y'all. So I am now taking on one of my sweet babies, one of my kiddos that I've had. This is the second year that I've had her, so I had her last year. But she just needs a little extra attention and loving in the afternoons. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I told parents that she can stay with me until 4:30. I'm here anyways, so it's like she can stay with me, hang out, and then I can kind of give her some extra instruction that she will need. So today we did like the longest spelling test on the face of the planet, but she was such a good sport about it. So I just got done doing that. She went home at about 4:30, so for the last 30 minutes, I've been attempting to try to get my crazy mess of a table cleaned up. And then I've been talking with KT because our level of snow is starting to increase. We started off with less than an inch, and then we went up to sorry, I know you're dizzy, I'm sorry. We started off with less than an inch, and then we went to, what was it, like 2 to 4 inches. Now we're gone to 4 to 8 inches, and now we're like on the edge of 8 to 14 inches. So it's like we could get anywhere from 4 to 18 inches, or 4 to 14 inches, 8 to 14 inches. Yeah, 14. It's kind of crazy that we are going to be expecting that much snow. So I told my husband that I was going to be home probably about 5:30, 5:40. Gives me about 20 minutes to be able to finish getting some things together here. For the most part, I have everything kind of cleaned up. I am taking some stuff to work on, like grading wise. I'm taking my computer, my teacher like resource binder, and then a couple of other things. So I have a few things that I'm going to grade at home, and I figured I could take that with me. A couple of things that I want to work on, especially for like our geometry that we're going to have in math. And I just can't believe that's another week. That's crazy. It is what it is though. I'm going to stay positive and persevere. All right. Oh, I want to show you guys our Jenga. We had so much fun with it. So I showed you guys the little Jenga that I created. These were like from the Dollar Tree, so you can find these at the Dollar Tree. So $1, that's not bad. You buy the paint and then you color the edges. Now I will say that they're a little hard to slide. Like the kids have a little bit of difficulty. They still enjoy the game, but they do have difficulty getting those little blocks to be able to slide. Now I need to figure out where my math pages are so I can show you what they look like. Okay, so I cannot find the papers that I had that I copied. I did have a little bit of an error here. Some of them were yellow and some of them were orange for some crazy reason. So the kids just were able to kind of determine what colors that they had. So I have each little section labeled off with the color. And then underneath that color, they have 7 possible questions for 7 possible blocks. So there's like 7, maybe 8 out of in one color that could be like a different color, but 7 is the kind of the best number for me. So they have their Jenga, And then they were also given this little form to be able to put their answers on. So what the kids were able to do is they kind of created their little Jenga board, right? So they have all their little pieces here. They have their 3 pieces there. Let me go ahead and make it. So what the kids end up doing is they have to take one of their Jenga blocks and they pick one to be able to scoot out. So I'm going to use a pencil because my fingers are super fat. But I picked this little pink one. Oh, okay. All right, did it. And then I'm going to place it back on the top. And then after I have pulled that pink one out, then I have to answer the question. So I'm going to go to the pink section right here. And then I and everyone else in that group is going to answer the first one for pink. So once I find the first one using just scrapbook paper, or I can use a whiteboard, whatever I end up choosing to use, then I'm going to place the answer down here for pink 1. And then the next person goes. So maybe this time, that person ends up deciding, oh, I'm going to do this pink one. Oh, okay, y'all. All right, so now I've pulled a second pink one. Now instead of answering the first one, I'm going to go to the second pink one. So I'm going to solve the second problem and then put the answer down in the second space below. They just kind of keep playing the game until they pretty much answered all the questions. They had 2 days to be able to play this game. They played it during independent math. They played it during their math group time. So they had probably about a good 30 minutes to be able to play it with one another, to be able to kind of review for the quick check that they're going to have later on this week. Don't know if it's going to be Thursday, might end up being Friday just because of the weather. But that's the game. I am going to put this available in my shop. It's not going to be very expensive. It'll be like $1, $2 or something to that extent. But it'll just be there for you to be able to use in case you do want to be able to like put it into use for your group and have them just practice or something to that extent. It's really good fun games for them to be able to play together. So it gets them talking, they're sharing answers, they're collaborating, and they're also playing a game with it, so it just kind of makes it fun. It's that novelty piece. It makes it really, really fun. So I wanted to share that piece with you. I am going to get going because I'm starting to feel incredibly, incredibly tired. So that is a cue from my body saying, Bridget, just go home. I'm taking a lot of my work with me home just in case we do have a snow day tomorrow, which I'm pretty sure we will have a snow day. So I'm going to take a lot of my work with me, get some of it done while I'm home, get some grading done, maybe even do a couple of Words Their Way videos that I need to get up for later this week anyway. So I will hopefully catch you guys in the morning, relaxed in my PJs and at home. Hey y'all, good morning. So it is really, really early in the morning right now, and I look like a hot mess, so please don't judge. But we have no snow outside. It was a complete and utter bust. We were supposed to have snow starting around 7 p.m. It is now 5:30, 5:40 probably. If you follow me on Instagram, I put on an Insta story that my alarm was set for 6:25. Well, my body woke up at about 5 o'clock this morning, and I immediately checked the weather. And then I couldn't go back to sleep after that because everybody's been texting back and forth talking about how bad of a bust it was and how a lot of us are not prepared. So I am going to make my coffee this morning and wait for a little miracle to happen because I was just adamant that we were not going to be going to school today. So I'm gonna make my coffee this morning, put a video on, do my makeup and my hair, and I will give you guys an update a little bit later on. Oh, so sad. Y'all, it is for real coming down now. I just made it to school. It looks pretty. Y'all, it is like for real so flipping pretty. I love how big these snowflakes are. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so I've made myself a little breakfast, just some yogurt and some cut up bananas. I didn't have cinnamon. I wish I had cinnamon, but I don't have any cinnamon. I actually think I might have some honey, so I might sprinkle some honey on it. I do think I have honey. And I am gonna, other than make a mess, I am going to work on getting my word study tests up onto Schoology, so I can like click an audio and like say it into the computer, type the word in there, and the kids can take the assessment. It automatically grades it for them, puts it in the grade book, which I freaking love. So I am going to get those word study tests up and running so the kids can take that today, and then I got to work on some word searches. Actually, no, they're cutting out words today, which I might show them the really cool Post-it app and how you can create it on Post-it and have your words sorted in there, which might be cool for today. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys, fix my bangs here. So I wanted to take a minute and show you guys what it's like to create an actual test in Schoology. I feel like I can just sell Schoology because I do truly, truly love it for my classroom. So here is how I create an actual test question. So you're gonna see here that we have word study test, and then it has the spot where I can add a question. And then you can have different types. I do a fill in the blank for my word study test. I put a line there just so that they know that they have to kind of fill in the blank. And then down here, I have an audio recording. So I can record an audio. So I will click that button, and then it'll click here. And so now you can see that I can record. So now I'm just going to record the actual audio. Such. Today is such a beautiful day. Such. And then I'm going to type in the word and how it is supposed to be spelled down at the bottom. And then I can create my question. And it'll be right down there. It's creating the audio right now. I do what we all do, 12 questions for our word study test, and then we try to go for competency or mastery. So if they don't end up getting it, then they have to study it and then retake the test later on. So I'm gonna finish up, get all of these done. That lighting was weird, y'all, I'm sorry. So I am gonna get all these rest of these done. I have 2 more tests that I gotta do, but they go pretty quick once you kind of get into the groove of it. Okay, so the word study tests are inside of Schoology, and now I went and made copies of our new word study words. So once the kids are done taking their assessment, they're going to grab their new words, they're going to cut them out. So I have the ones that I'm responsible for, so I do the yellow book, and my other 2 partners do the other 2 different books. So they're going to get together the other copies, like the blue and then the green and then the blue sorts available up here for me, but I have these ready, and then I also put some inside of their room so that the kids can come and grab them whenever they're ready. The one thing that I have yet to do this morning is complete my morning message. I didn't do it last night. Well, let's just be honest. I didn't think I was going to be here this morning, so I didn't do it yesterday before I left to go home. So I need to make that now. So I'm going to do that now, and then I think I have a meeting that I need to go to at about 8 o'clock or so. So I need to get busy because I have about like 5 minutes. Morning message is up. About 10 minutes and the day is about to begin. So I have my morning message up, my affirmations are up that the kids are gonna grab. I'm gonna make them read one out loud, which is pretty funny. So those are up, ready to go. I have all of my targets in for the day and their tasks are into Schoology. So I'm feeling pretty good. For someone who thought that they were not gonna be at school today, I am like gung-hoing it. I am gonna go ahead and get the lights turned off, music turned on, door opened up, and get started with the school day. Sometimes I wonder, y'all, how in the world does my area get so flipping messy? Like, really? Okay, so it's the end of the day and I am working very diligently on trying to get my mess cleaned up. I was a little overwhelmed at the moment for this, so I was trying so hard to get all my stuff put away. But I wanted to share with you because I have 2 of my partners that use my A5 planner. So for those of you who don't know, I have an A5 planner that I use inside of my pink Kiki K. It's a half sheet of just your normal lettered paper, and this is what it looks like here. It's just a 2018 personal planner that I like to use to be able to keep track of just anything that I have going on. So you guys can kind of see it here. It's just a vertical layout with one long rectangle. I use kind of stickers or just something to be able to help block off some of my time, and then it has lines at the bottom. So it goes from Monday through Sunday, yes. And it also has a task list behind each month. It has a month for the planning, and then it also has a month on 2 pages here. So it's a really, really nice planner to be able to use for like personal. I felt like I had too much stuff going on, and I wanted to use my teacher planner for more of just planning my lessons, if that makes sense. So this is more of like my tasks, my appointments, those types of reminders that I need to have. So that stays into my A5, and I have a partner right now who needs it. So I printed her off one. You can see it here. I've already started cutting some of it, but I wanted to share with you guys how I actually cut it. So you're gonna see here that it's only one piece. There are registration marks up in the corner, and this kind of tells you where that you are going to have your cut lines. Now, I have pretty much mastered it using my really very big cutter that I have here, and I have it down to an art. So I wanted to share that with you in case you wanted to get the planner but you weren't really like comfortable with trying to get it cut, but you have one of these in your schools. I'm pretty much sure that every single school has one of these huge cutters. So I'm going to share with you how I cut it. So the first step that I do is I take my paper and I keep it in the vertical layout, and then I will cut off one of my sides. If you line it up to the 7, it will cut perfectly. So you want to line this side here up to the 7 and then cut off all the extra. I mean, it's perfect. There's the 7 mark, and there it is on the cut. Once I have the side sliced off, then I'm going to change it and go horizontal. So I changed the layout of my paper and I cut off both of the ends. So the very first side that you're going to cut off, you will want your edge to be lined up at the 9 3/4 mark. 9 3/4. So it cut off the side. Now I need to cut off this extra. So I'm going to flip it around because this is what I want to cut off. And I'm going to put this edge to the 8 1/2 mark. 8 1/2. Then I'm going to cut. So I'm going to line this side up to the 5 1/2 mark. I'm going to line it up to the 5 1/2. There it is. And now I'm going to cut. And there it is. Absolutely perfect. Everything is still intact and it's all a perfect size. So now I'm just going to get at it, and I'm going to cut the rest of her planner for her. There it is. There's the planner. I will definitely leave a link down below if you want to go and check it out. I love using this planner. It really helps me to be able to create my top 3 task list. Any kind of other tasks that I just have for the day, any appointments that I have, meetings that I need to make sure that I'm reminded of, it just carries my entire life with it. So I have 2 teachers who would highly recommend it because they absolutely love using it as well. So if you guys want to go and check it out, definitely go and look at it. I will leave that link down below. Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, the 8th of March, and it has been a very long week, y'all. Like, please give me a shout out if I'm not the only one. Like, put a comment down below. I just don't know. It's been a very long week for me. I honestly thought that it was Saturday when I woke up this morning, and it's not Saturday. It's only Thursday this morning. In other news, like personal news, it's been a really weird week for me at home because we have decided to try and oil or It's not a paint. It's not a sealer that you would put on a butcher block, right? So you know you can seal wood so that it doesn't have water that kind of goes, it soaks in and messes up the wood and creates water stains. But it is like, it's called the Real Milk or something like that. But it is like an oil, I guess. So we decided to do this. My husband bought this about a couple of weeks ago. And he said, well, I'm going to need a week with nothing on the butcher blocks in the kitchen. So I was like, okay, well, let's do it this week that we're here. Because on Saturday and Sunday, what I can do is I can just make a bunch of meals so that we can have just leftovers every night versus us trying to cook and like making a mess on the butcher block. So that's kind of what we've been doing. But it's been like, it's been hard, y'all. Trying to go home and trying to clean up and trying to, I don't know. And yesterday I ended up just leaving it all because I was just, one, exhausted, and two, I just, oh my gosh, I was just, I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm feeling very just bleh. And like I'm tracking all of this stuff because if you've been keeping up with my last few vlogs, I have like that Hashimoto's, whatever it is. I know what it is. But I do have Hashimoto, so I've been trying to keep track of a lot of my moods and a lot of my just other symptoms that I've been like having. So I've been using an app on my phone to be able to keep track of it. So I don't know. This week has been a very blah week and a very bad week for me because I have not been feeling the way that I should be feeling, which sucks. You guys probably don't want to know this. All right, this morning we are going to have a very big change in our schedule. So I don't know if you guys remember, but I think the last week that we were trying to do this, we ended up not being able to do it for some reason, and I can't for the love of me like remember why we couldn't do it. So we are in kind of a very weird spot for this next month because we have JA Biztown curriculum that we were having to teach. We go to JA April the 5th, and then we have our PBL that we're trying to do alongside all of the curriculum that we're still trying to teach at the same time. So we ended up coming up with an alternative schedule on Thursdays and Fridays. So on Thursdays and Fridays, we're going to have that math block. We didn't have that math block. We've taken that away because we've done rotations since January, which I really, really love the rotations. Hold that thought. What happened to my radio? Oh. I'm all like, what's going on? Sorry, husband called. So like I was saying, we ended up coming up with this alternative schedule where on Thursdays and Fridays, instead of doing our rotations, which I love doing the rotations, we're gonna have like this chunk of math time in the morning, almost like what we did from August to December. And in this big chunk, we're working on a very isolated math skill, which is geometry. Geometry and measurement is what we're focusing on. So we gave the kids a pre-assessment, and then we kind of broke them up into what is it that they need to know. So we have like your fourth grade, they need to know fourth grade standards, they need to know fourth and fifth grade standards, almost like a hybrid of it, and then those who need to know fifth through sixth grade standards. So we broke the kids up into those three different areas, and we're going to be teaching them geometry in the mornings, and then for the last like 15-20 minutes of each of these class times, because we don't need the entire hour to be able to teach geometry lessons. So for the last 15 to 20 minutes, they're going to be working on math skills that they had from this week. So they're kind of reinforcing the skills that they've been practicing from Monday to Wednesday during their normal math time. I know it sounds like a lot, and it is a lot of information that's kind of going in at them, but I think it's going to be doable. So that's kind of what we're focusing on right now. I need to get my geometry items together for math this morning because what's going to end up happening is it's going to allow us to have a very different schedule in the afternoon. So we'll have our JA right after lunch. After JA, we're going to have an hour of PBL time, and then from that, we're going to have like an hour and like 20 minutes or something to that extent of reading time. So the kids are going to go into their reading rooms, and we're working on more of just like reading responses, being able to use graphic organizers to help them organize their thinking from the skills that they've been practicing for the week, and then responding in some way. I guess you can kind of call it your text dependent analysis type questions. So we're almost working on that, but we're calling them reader's response, because that's what it is. It's a reader's response, and we're trying to teach them how to respond to literature in a more formal way versus like I tell them, like, you're texting me, like, yo, Miss Beck, this was awesome. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear a very formal way of a response for that reading literature piece. So that's kind of what our schedules are going to end up looking like. It's also going to allow me to be able to conference more with them on Thursdays and Fridays, which is really, really nice, because they'll be working on those readers' response. So I can kind of pull them and reinforce any skills that I need to reinforce during that time. So today, what I am working on in math is we're going to look at lines, perpendicular, parallel, right angles. That is what we're focusing on today. I'm going to end up having a very big project for them, and I want to almost relate it back to our PBL. So my thoughts was, and I've heard a lot of people talk about these, but it's like the geometricity. And I've heard other teachers in the building that have done it, and they really, really like it. But I didn't want to do a geometricity. I said, well, what if I did something similar to that? But I incorporated our PBL. So we're almost creating our garden, and we're creating that space. So I said, well, I'm going to pull in the skills for them to be able to create that space and have them almost kind of envision the space for themselves and what they think that the garden should end up looking like at the very end. So that's what I'm going to make them do, and I think they're really going to enjoy it. So I need to get together all my things because I'm running a little bit later than I normally am today. I woke up very, very tired, like I was saying, and then I just kind of laid there. It was really bad, but I'm here. It's about 7:15, so I'm going to get my things together. Today is a day 2, so I do have to collab today, and I need to get busy. Alright guys, I'll catch you guys in a bit. Okay y'all, we are about to start class, so I'm gonna get all of my things together, turn my lights off, put my music on, open up my door, but I really quick wanted to show you guys something that I'm working on. Now it is most definitely not finished, so I have a little geometry book that I am currently working on, and on the inside today what we're gonna do is talk about lines. So as I'm creating my anchor chart, the kids are gonna be writing their anchor charts in here, and then on the opposite side over here they have a match. So they're going to end up matching some of the vocabulary with the vocabulary terms. So that is kind of what we're going to be doing today. We're not going to have a ton of time to be able to work in geometry because we're kicking it off this morning. So we still have to get the kids into their groups, get them in their rooms. So it's going to be a little bit of a crazy mess this morning. It's lunchtime right now, so 6th graders are out at recess. My 4th and 5th graders are at lunch. And I'm about to meet with my team to kind of discuss some things that we have going on for PBL. I just wanted to pop on really, really fast because I got to meet with our PBL managers, and it was the best and the cutest thing I have ever experienced, and it just warmed my teacher heart, and it just made me so happy. We were able to talk about different types of notes and how we take meeting notes, what they're going to be able to relay, what are they working on, what do they need from different groups. It was just a really, really great conversation, and I just wanted to pop on that because my heart is just so happy, y'all. Like, it is the best feeling in the world when you have these kids collaborating together that are working and that are just so passionate and excited about what they're doing. So I'm gonna go and eat really fast and hopefully get some grading done for my algebra group because they just did a quick check. So I'm gonna go grade those and eat my little burrito. By the way, y'all, the kids did a really, really great job with this. So this is kind of what we did for learning about lines. We talked about each of them, took our notes, and then on this side they got to try out their vocabulary and do some matching. They loved it. Okay, so it is now special time. So after lunch, the way that our modified schedule on Thursdays and Fridays is working out is that we have GAA for an hour, PBL for 1 hour, and then the rest of the time that we have is to reading. So the kids go into their reading rooms. We can do reading lessons, we can pull reading groups, whatever it is that we want to do with those kiddos while they're here with us during that reading time. I was so excited because my two boys who were having to identify like the costs of like seeds, and then they started learning about market packs and are those available, they were able to kind of learn about how to make phone calls to businesses, and then they even learned how to leave a voicemail with businesses. And it's so funny because they're so flippin' nervous, but they did such a great job. I was so incredibly proud with them. Like, y'all, they had like a little script that they wrote out. They had like multiple scripts that they wrote out because in case, you know, no one answered, I'm gonna go to the voicemail. In case they ask this question, here's what I'm gonna say. They wanted to be so incredibly prepared. So I had two boys that were doing that. One was making the phone call, the other one was taking notes, because it is so hard, I think, for them especially, and even for adults sometimes too, as people are talking, that you're writing down what is it that they're saying. So to kind of combat that, I was able to get one kiddo in there so that he was kind of writing things down, and so they flip-flop making phone calls so that they can both get a little bit of experience with it. But yeah, I was so incredibly proud with them. Something I think I am going to end up doing, because my researchers are right now, I have two different departments in my classroom during PBL. We have 4 total. One is PR, which KT has. One is builders, which KW has. I have the researchers and the farmers. So my researchers are in the process of trying to get together a Google survey to give out to all of the kids in the school on what kind of vegetables they like, what kind of fruits that they like, so that they can interpret that data and have that data available for the PR people for their presentation. They are also right now responsible for trying to find when can you start to grow, when are those fruits or vegetables able to start pick, and then how long do they actually last once they are picked, because we know that once you pick strawberries, they don't last very long. So they're in the process of finding out that information. My farmers right now, it's pretty quiet and low-key with them, although tomorrow I am going to be pulling them and doing an actual explicit instruction lesson on how to write an introductory paragraph and a closing paragraph for how-to writing. So right now that they've done a ton of research on how to plant seeds and grow them indoors, so now they're taking that information and they're putting it into an actual writing piece before they actually start planting the seeds back there. So tomorrow I'm going to give them a lesson explicitly on how to start an introductory paragraph and how are we going to have a thesis statement and a concluding paragraph. So that's what I'm going to focus with them on. My boys are going to continue making phone calls because they're doing a great job there, but I am so flippin' tired. I feel like my sinuses are starting to like kick in. It's a beautiful day out. It's so sunny. Like, you can see that sun. It is so gorgeous outside. I end up staying after school on Tuesdays and Thursdays now, and it started this week, to help one of my kiddos who's just kind of struggling in reading and just needs some extra attention. So I am able to stay with her until 4:30. So she's going to be coming into my classroom like right after school, so I'm not going to be able to talk a ton with you guys because she's going to be in here. I'm going to be giving her some explicit instruction. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to pull out 4 sight words. I gave her a sight words test for kindergarten, 1st grade, and some 2nd grade words. So I have a good list of words that she really needs to work on to kind of make sure that she knows how to spell them. So I'm going to pull out about 4 of those words, work on her with those words, and then I'm also going to pull out some sounds. I think explicitly maybe some endings, some digraphs, some blends. I'm going to see what she knows today and then kind of pull from there. Hold on. I guess they ended up not wanting to talk to me. I'm going to work with her this afternoon on that. I used the Orton-Gillingham model, which I think is absolutely phenomenal. I saw it do some really great things when I was in kindergarten with some of my kiddos in intervention. It is meant for dyslexia. It is just not a program, but it is a method of teaching. So it is a system, right? So you have certain steps that you take every single day in order to make sure that you're helping them solidify their understanding of sounds and sight words. So here's what my table looks like, in case you're wondering the madness that happens in my room. So I have all of this. There's my lessons. There's extra papers. This stuff still didn't get put up. I have all this good stuff. All of that. It's just a hot mess. This is what my room looks like during the day. I'm gonna go ahead and get all of those things together that I need to get for my little sweet girl whenever she comes to see me after school, and try to get my room cleaned up a little bit before then. So I will catch you guys afterwards. It is about 10 minutes to 5, and I just made the decision that I'm going to leave my mess because I'm ready to go home. So I'm gonna go home, sit on my couch, eat some hopefully pretty yummy leftover food that we still have, and try to rest a little bit. It is actually incredibly cold outside. Really cold, and that wind is a beast. Good morning, everyone. It is Friday. Happy Friday. I'm so happy it's Friday. It's been a very long week. And if I feel this way, I feel like my kids feel this way. And so I don't blame them if they're just like, Miss Backman, we are done. Yesterday, towards the very end of the day, my head started hurting. And I felt like it was sinus headaches. And I still do believe it was a sinus headache. But I was to the point, like after my sweet girl left that I was working with her after school, after she ended up going home, I just couldn't do it. I just got my stuff together and I said, I'm just gonna leave the mess. You know you don't feel good when you're just like, I'm just gonna leave the mess. And I went home. Y'all, I sat on my couch. My head was going to flippin' explode. Like, I'm just curious to know what you guys do when you get migraines that bad, because I feel like I don't really have a very good system other than like balling up and sitting in the dark and just crying it out. Actually, I just was trying to sleep it out, but I feel like I just don't have a very good system, and I'm wondering if other people have like something that they do to help them get rid of their migraines. Mine are all sinus related. I had sinus issues way back, like had surgery on them and everything, so I know that it's sinus related because I can just feel the pressure in my head, and it just stinks. Like, it just takes over your entire day when you start to have those migraines. So leave a comment down below, let me know what you do, because I feel like spring is gonna start coming and my headaches are just gonna get worse and worse. So we gotta figure that out. I am gonna start taking allergy medicine every single day now. So I took one this morning, and I did take a couple of ibuprofen with that too. So I need to get busy. Okay, so I got everything pretty much ready to go. I have everything for the most part ready for my geometry class, but I wanted to do kind of an art lesson with them. So I need to create one page that has a bunch of lines on it that they're going to have to try to identify the different types of lines that we discussed yesterday. And then I'm going to give them a blank shape for them to be able to construct it themselves and create a little art piece. I like incorporating art. I think art is fun, and plus it makes it for a really cute display. So I need to get that ready this morning, and I need to find cardstock. Okay, so I have my white piece of paper. Here's my book that we used yesterday. I had the kids go in and write all their names because it's not completely done yet, and I need to add pages over the weekend. So these are the different lines that we talked about yesterday. These are the lines that I want to make sure that I incorporate here. So I'm going to make sure that I just kind of go through and I create some of those lines in here for them to be able to try to identify. So here is the little geometric mess that you can kind of see on here, but they're going to identify the different types of lines. So the lines that continuously go off of the page all the way across, those are your lines. The parts where they're line segments, so where there's points, so here and here, that's a line segment. From here to here, that's a line segment. For those that are rays, so this would be a point for them, and then if it continues off of the page, that's going to be a ray. Any parallel lines that you can kind of see here are going to be on there. Perpendicular lines are on there. Let's see. So here's kind of one. You can see that. There's another one right here that you can see. And then some of the different types of angles that are also present in there. So I made this one really quick. The kids are going to have to identify it using color coding crayons. And then afterwards, they're going to get to make their very own, and we're going to put them together to make a really cool looking geometric awesomeness. I'm definitely a little bit snotty today just for my sinuses, so I apologize. I'm just gonna get my morning message up, get everything else ready for at least this morning, and then I will hopefully holler at you guys during my lunchtime. You guys hear that? That's somebody's alarm going off during lunchtime. And my hiney is too lazy to get up and go turn it off. I did find the iPad and I turned it off. I feel like either my sinuses are just getting really, really bad or I am getting sick. It's one or the other. We'll see how I go this weekend. So, for geometry, they did really, really well. They actually really enjoyed the activity, but we never got to the part where they got to create their own lines on their own papers. So maybe that'll be like a next Thursday activity, or I can give it to them throughout the week for them to kind of continue that practice. Here's what it ended up looking like. So here was the geometry book, and all I did was just take some crayons and I blocked the vocabulary words for them to be able to use this as a key. And then I modeled for them and showed them what I was talking about. So here were some of the lines. So we found a line here. We found a line segment. We found some points. We found a ray. And then they started looking for the angle. And what they did was they determined what type of an angle it was. So if it was a right angle, they were coloring it pink. If it was an acute angle, they colored it lime green. And then if it was an obtuse angle, they colored it yellow. So it was allowed us to be able to determine if they were able to find it within this kind of geometric shape madness here. But they really enjoyed it because they worked with partners. They got to kind of collaborate with it. They were doing a lot of discussing and a lot of talking, and the kids enjoyed it. It was fun. The idea was for them to create their own lines here with having certain requirements. We just weren't able to get to that. So that's okay. But this is what we did get to, and they did enjoy it. So we are going to have JE time in just a little bit. Today is a really exciting day because we are doing deposits and checking accounts. So they're gonna learn how to endorse a check and then also fill out like a check registry. So they have to kind of keep up with the amount of money that they have in a check registry. So I'm very excited about today's lesson. I think it's going to be a very, very good lesson. And then I'm going to do a lesson with my farmers today because they're working on their how-to writing for growing seeds. So for them specifically, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about an introductory and a concluding paragraph. So I'm going to do some explicit instruction for that, have them go back out and practice what they're writing, and then show it to me so that I can kind of confirm, and I'll be doing some quick check-ins throughout the entire time. So mouthful for me to say, y'all. Otherwise, it's been a really, really good day. It's been a good Friday. I'm ready to be in my PJs. So I am going to finish up my lunch, get some other items together for JA, make sure I have everything that I need, and we're almost to half of the day. I don't know.